Hey, everybody. So, messages from within on Wednesday, the 23rd of March, 2022. So, there's been a lot of excitement and warnings going off. I would say probably in the last 14 hours of different reports of people saying things have happened to the US president, stuff that's going on in RNU and what's going on over there, and with the broadcast systems being tested and so on. So there's a lot of things happening. Now, the way my guides told me some time ago that January was going to be kind of scratching the surface. February was going to be bringing up some of that sediment and soot. And then March was going to be like little mini fires. It didn't look like they were too big of fires. But as we got to the end of March, it was going to be more explosive type fires that people would have to stand up and pay attention to. And April was going to be more of those little atomic ba-boom, 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 and into May. And then maybe, depending on how us earthlings respond to so many things, will tell the story of how quickly this can be shifted. Now, many people want to go, the lights won, trust the plan. And you know what? That's all well and good. But guess what? We have responsibility for every second of every day of what we do with the me, myself, and I of it. All right? So for those of us who really stay in tune with our God source antenna, many of us are treading water lightly. I'm one of them. I don't like to put out anything that sounds like it's channeling or giving dates or too much information. I'm very careful how I word things because that's not the lane that my guides, my higher self, have chosen to come in for. I'm a grid worker, healer, anchorer, peacekeeper, someone who can follow and lead, someone who can adapt and pivot, and someone who can stop, drop, and freeze on a dime. And so those are actually what I call street smarts. And I came in with those, whereas academic, it was a little more of a struggle. So for most of my life, it's been a struggle just for me to learn that balance and wonder, why wasn't I better at this and not as good as that? Because, good at that doesn't always pay you. So anywho, now I'm quite in it. So I live my life by my intuition and by what is happening and what the barometer of the energetics tell me. Physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically. That's how I read energy. And then I take action through what I filter the energy with, and it's with all of those bodies. So with that being said, we cannot fall into the fear. So many people about a year or so ago were predicting that, shit was going to hit the fan. And, don't look over there and don't look over there and look over there and so on. And, shit hitting the fan can mean a lot of things to many different people. It really just depends. It's kind of like people who've had it up to here can have a mini teacup, and people who've had it up to here could be like me and have a big gulp cup. So the more I can fill, the more I can spill. Okay? So one does not necessarily mean it's better than the other. I just take a lot, and if I do tip, it's not good. It's not a good response from myself or for anyone that's around me. But I've learned to cope with that. I've learned to deal with that. I've learned to sift and shift that so that I don't spill over, because that's doing harm to other people because I can't handle something. So really handle your own shit and sift your own shit, folks. And choose the shit you sift, okay? And that's important, because really what we have a lot of out here is something that I've said on many other videos, months and months ago, is that a lot of people have corrupted, cracked antennas, and they still think that they're giving all of this correct information. But what has occurred here is there's a lot of people who have gathered a lot of subscribers, followers, etc. And so they're expected to have the knowledge and expected to put it out. But then you're going to hear about a lot of these people who have signed these non-disclosures, and they're being fed by really white hat on what to feed the people. And so what I'm seeing with all that is, I understood that in the beginning. I never followed any of these people really anyway, but I understood that in the beginning. But if it was me and I had signed something, that meant I gave a piece of my soul to something. And then I had to follow all of their list of criteria, while they held that piece of soul. Because then they promised me something on the other end. Maybe I'm going to control med beds. Maybe I'm going to, have direct information, direct contact, and therefore I'm going to look like the heroic winner out there with all the correct information. But that's not happening. So for me personally, I have an issue with that, because it's like, if I know somebody's feeding me stuff and I'm supposed to be protecting the public and only giving them so much, but then I know doggone well that they've just sifted a whole bunch of brown stuff on me, and then they want me to sugarcoat it and pass it off to you and tell you it's not brown by giving you, 1% truth and 95% not truth, and then 4% is, or 3% is whatever, but people are stuck on following these people. And so they're looking for guiding lights. And so again, I'm going to go back to what my guides have stressed upon me, and I've done videos on, is don't go in here, get in here, allow the information to come in with a very detached part of you, and make it just be information, and then allow it to sift through the bodies and see how it feels to certain areas. Is it igniting? Is it activating? Is it coding something that I resonate with from my own inner DNA? And if I do, is it one that wants to repel it? Is it one that says, hang on a second, let me think about that? Or is it something that comes in and goes, oh yeah, that feels so good? But when we're getting stuck following so many people, what's happening with these large subscriber people, many, not all, many, they're being fed stuff, and then they're turning around and feeding it to you, and they're hoping, oh, it's going to stop soon, and then I can tell the truth. Oh, it's going to stop soon, but now I don't even know what the truth is. And a lot of these people that are playing these games, they might guess, that's a white hat, that's a dark hat, that's a this, that's a that, this one's gone, blah, 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 the G and the N of the money's coming and going, and nobody knows what that's really going to look like, folks, because there's so many people behind the bank, 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 behind the bank. And this is going on longer and deeper than what your education of any type of banking is. So don't count on anything. Count on yourself. And know that you don't want to feed into any false reality. None whatsoever. No false evidence appearing real. Okay? Question. Ask your guide team to come in. Ask them to help you. Get out of here, get into here by getting into filtering the information, or saying, you know what, if I'm meant to know that, it's going to come back around to me on many different levels so that I understand it if I'm really meant to know something. Okay? So trust in your own God source antenna. Trust in the who, the me, the my, self of the higher self that you are. Okay? And then just look at the beauty around you and be of service to people with a smile and with an exhale of energy and an inhale of the God source light. And try doing that. While some things may be occurring, don't feed into it. All right. So from me to you, please like, subscribe, and share. Much love. Talk to you soon.